Police Boys Club. After a senior trainer left the gym, he assumed his duties and so began his career of the sweet science as a trainer at the tender age of 17. Guided such notable prize fighters as Joe Buckner, Paul Briggs, Gary St. Clair, Billy Dibb, Jeff Harding, and Hall of Famers Jeff Fenech, Kashchizu, and Virgil Hill. With over 5 decades in the sport, he is noted for his integrity, his dignity, and also for his compassion toward his fighters. 2017 Hall of Fame inductee in the non-participant category, Johnny Lewis.
Indeed, that's a hard act to follow Jerry Roth, a wonderful, wonderful guy. To be a judge and to be a member of the Hall of Fame just shows you how good he really was. And I'm honoured to have had him judge a few of my fights, and it was great meeting up with him here today. Very much like Jerry, I've had 6 months to think about this particular day. I was in the car with my wife when Ed Brophy rang me and informed me that I was also to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think we both had tears in our eyes because she knew the importance of what boxing meant to me since I was a very young kid. I'm here with my wife today and my 2 children and 2 very good friends from Australia that have come over here with me to make it all worthwhile. Listen to Barry. They give boxing so much credibility. They love it the same way I do. It is something very, very special and something that I've enjoyed for almost every day of my life. I've got to thank everybody that I ever trained because they've all moulded me into what I was, with the confidence and experience to get onto the top banner of boxing. To come over to the mecca of boxing in Vegas was a big step for us from a little area called Erskineville in Sydney. There are so many I want to thank, but I always feel indebted to a young kid that I had as an amateur boxer, and only after a few fights he made and captained the Australian Olympic side in 1984, and he went on to win 3 versions of world titles in 3 different divisions, and also had a draw for a 4th. That is Jeff Fenech, who it would have been lovely to see him here today, but he's got other things to do, and I use that, and every other kid that was in the gym learned from what Jeff put in. I've never seen anyone work as hard to get what he achieved. It never came easy, but there's an old saying, you only take out what you put in, and he put in so much. I saw Don Majeski the other night, and I remember Don Majeski likened him to a Harry Greb, that his work rate was unbelievable. I might say that it's indeed an honour for me to be here. This is such a wonderful thing for all our athletes. The town of Minnesota, I hope that it stays here forever. The people here is absolutely wonderful. The volunteers, they make this all happen. And I might say that I always had a favourite fighter that one of my guys fought. I remember this kid. I met him before the fight. He fought Costa Zoo in Melbourne. I had the pleasure of meeting him at the weigh-in, the reading of the rules. I've never met a better example for the fight man. He got beat and he remained an absolute gentleman, and I feel that I must say, Jesse James Liam, I don't think I've ever seen a better sport. Thank you.
Born in Brooklyn, graduated from NYU with a degree degree in journalism in 1978. Upon graduating, he was hired by the London Publishing Company, which produced boxing and wrestling magazines. In 1980, London published him and he launched KO magazine. In 1989, he was named editor-in-chief of Ring magazine and held that position until 1997. He has worked for ESPN, Sports Channel, USA's Tuesday Night Fights, and CNN. In 2001, he was tabbed as expert analyst on the Showtime boxing series, Showbox, and remains there today. He has been honored by the Boxing Writers Association 3 times: 2002 Sam Taub Award, 2008 James J. Walker Award, and 2010 the Nat Fleischer Award. In the Observer category, 2017 Hall of Fame inductee and also someone I consider a good friend, Steve Farhood.
Showtime has a reputation for this kind of behavior at these moments, and I love it. Can I ask someone to time this, because this speech, because I have a bet on the over-under. The reason I'm timing my speech, there have been too many times I've been seated where you are and have suffered through well-intended speeches that dragged on and on. So I will be brief with my speech. Then there'll be a slideshow, followed by a question and answer. We'll be done in no more than 90 minutes, I promise. I really want to thank Ed, Jeff Brophy, everyone here at the hall. They've been friends for a long time. I've been coming up here for a long time. And they do such a great job at making us feel so special. And of course, congratulations to all the other inductees, many of whom I've covered, had the privilege of covering. I was there at Madison Square Garden when that fellow turned pro. They let the fans in free that night. Do you remember that? That doesn't happen too often. It's all a bit overwhelming, it really is. Over the years, I've been asked why I've covered boxing and no other sports. My question in response to that question is, why would a journalist want to cover anything other than boxing? There is nothing quite as revealing, quite as invigorating, quite as electric, quite as magical as a great fight. Except for maybe a 30-minute run at the craps table. After all these years, boxing can still wow me. And that's part of why I'm still doing this. That and the need to pay for my wife's extravagant lifestyle. Everybody liked that joke. It was really just for my friend. As for the fighters, they continue to fascinate me. With rare exception, the boxers are uneducated, but hardly unintelligent. Tough and suitably toughened, yet emotionally vulnerable. And willing to open up and tell their life stories, which can leave both speaker and listener in tears. If you're a journalist, you're naturally curious. And if you're curious, you value a good story. I've done this for almost 40 years. If I do it for another 140, the stories of the boxers and boxing will never grow old or stale. I thank boxing for finding me. How lucky am I to have covered the last 2 fights of Muhammad Ali's career? How lucky am I to be able to refer to writers I idolized, Larry Merchant, George Plimpton, Bud Schulberg, Pete Hamill, as colleagues? How lucky am I to still be doing what I've always wanted to do and what I still want to do? I not only thank boxing, but I thank so many individuals who have been so instrumental in my career. I thank my sister Linda, who's right here, along with my sister Billy and my brother-in-law Sarah. Linda is an English professor, and when I was very young, she stoked my interest in the written word, and she still does. I thank 2 people who impacted my career more than anyone else. On the print side, there was Stanley Weston, a member of this very Hall of Fame, who founded and ran London Publishing, and who trusted me enough to put first KO magazine and then the Ring magazine A.J. Larkin, who saw my crooked nose, heard my Brooklyn accent, and instantly decided that Farhood is somebody we have to put on TV. The TV network was Showtime, and 16 years after we started the Showbox series, this face, with a lot of help from various makeup artists, is still invading the televisions in your living room. Speaking of Showbox, we had a show 2 nights ago in Verona. The producer was Rich Gaughan. The director was Rick Phillips. You heard Barry mention both of them before. For 16 years, the producer of Showbox has been Rich Gaughan, and the director has been Rick Phillips. Do you mind standing up? I really want to try to embarrass you. Even after all these years, Rich and Rick make me smile the moment I see them. And I can't think of a better or more personal compliment.
10 seconds, Steve.
Thank you very much. All right, so it's the old one. I lost the bet. Not the first time. We've been through a lot together, and I legitimately love you guys. The Showbox crew has been so supportive during this process, and I'd like to acknowledge those who are here today. Joey Silva, Joe Giacovino, I'm not sure if Paul Tarter is here. There's Paul. And as far as my Showbox partners, well, Raul Marquez, you're a pleasure to work with and a joy to hang out with. And in a few months, your soon-to-be-born son, Liam, will be replacing you on the broadcast. Barry Tompkins, Hall of Fame protocol forced me to wait an agonizing week before learning that we'd be inducted together. It speaks volumes about how I feel about you as both a partner and a friend, that I was as thrilled by your deserving induction as I was by my own, and you know I mean that. You are a legend who should be in the Hall of Fame of every sport you've covered, which is every sport there is. Another couple of Hall of Famers, Al Bernstein and Jimmy Lennon Jr., worked our Showbox broadcast on Friday night. Al, the first time we worked on TV together was about 35 years ago. That doesn't mean we're old. What it means is we're ancient. For all these years, you've unfailingly shared your affection, your wisdom, and your humor. I love you, and I love your entire family. And Jimmy, where is Jimmy? There he is. There's a good reason you're referred to as the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr. I'm especially honored to be going into the Hall of Fame with your dad, whom I had the pleasure of meeting only once, but when you meet a legend, you don't forget it. Everyone else from Showtime, Barry indicated how difficult it was for Morrow, the voice of Showtime Boxing, to get here. It means everything that you're here. You're a great friend. Chuck, Ray Smalls, Jody, who I've known at Showtime longer than anyone else. We somehow still put up with each other. I love all of you. The PR staff, Matt, who's new to the game, Flo, Matt, Chris de Blasio, Nima, a new but wonderful friend. It really is family. I love all of you. Brian Daly and his digital team as well. And I thank our boss at Showtime, Steven Espinoza, for his continued support, especially for his support for Showbox, and for making Showtime Boxing the #1 TV network, of which we are all so proud. David Dinkins Jr., executive producer of Showtime Sports and the smartest man in the room. You've taught me so much about television. You've taught me so much about hip replacement surgery. And you've been such a loyal friend. And it's always good to know, David, and I want to embarrass you a little bit, so please stand up. And it's always good to know that no matter what kind of mood David is in, I can always make him laugh simply by saying, "Put him in a straitjacket." It's an inside joke, I had to. Gordon Hall, my boss at Showtime, and the man with whom I've worked most closely over the past 16 years. Please stand up, Gordon. We've traveled the world together, and every stop